Hi guys, welcome to another episode of the Minimalist Journey. Today I am doing the Minimalist tag, and I found this tag via Sprout and Blossom, so check her channel out if you haven't seen it. Alright, so let's get started. The first question is, what drew you to minimalism? I talked about this more extensively in my first video when I told my story of embracing minimalism, but I will definitely summarize it here for you. When I first started this journey, I didn't know that there was a term for it. I didn't know that the term minimalism applied to what I was doing. But what drew me to a more simple lifestyle is the fact that I didn't feel happy in the life that I had. I just felt like I was stuck doing the same old thing all the time, and just going to work and doing the things that we do all the time, but they just weren't giving me joy. And I just realized that I wasn't doing what I really wanted to do in life. So that is what started me on my minimalist journey. I felt like I needed to get rid of a lot of stuff, not just physical things, but just emotional things and mental things, so that I could begin to focus on what I really wanted in my life. Question number 2, how did you start the decluttering process? The decluttering process for me started when I decided to move home to my mother's home. In the process of moving, I got rid of all of my furniture, home items, decor, and stuff like that, kitchen stuff. I just got rid of everything. And I also got rid of a lot of clothes that I had had for, the past 5 years or so. So that's how I got started. I didn't use any formulas or challenges or anything to let go of stuff. I just went through everything as we were, packing up, and, decided what I was going to get rid of that I no longer needed, that I wasn't using anyway. So that's how I started. Number 3, have you ever counted your items? And if so, how many do you own? I don't know how many things I have because I haven't felt the need to count them, and I don't base my decluttering around a number of things, around a target number of things. I just get rid of stuff when I feel like I need to. And that's the same for even, purchasing stuff. When I feel like I need to add something in, I do it at that time. But no, I don't know how many things I own, but I may count them in the future. Alright, number 4. What are your tips for dealing with the desire for more? Whenever I encounter something or see something that I want, I always try to, go through the process of asking myself why I want this. Do I need this? How will it benefit me? Is it worth it? The cost of it, is it worth it? Can I get long-term use out of this, or is this a short-term thing? I try to ask myself these questions, and then I'll also try to sleep on it for a while, to see if I feel differently the next day, because sometimes in the moment you just see something and you're like, ooh, I want that, and it's an emotional response, but you're not thinking about it rationally or logically. So sleeping on things helps me reduce the amount of things. A lot of times when I'm online, searching for certain things, and I come across something that I want, I'll put it in the shopping cart, but I won't actually buy it. So I'll put it in the shopping cart or put it on a wish list to save for later. And then I find that whenever I come back to the site again, I either forgot about the item or I don't even want it anymore. So that definitely helps. Dealing with the desire for wanting more, it's not a big struggle for me at this point in my journey. I mean, I've been on this journey for 2 years, so I'm kind of used to not. I guess I've trained myself to not want more in certain areas. The areas where I struggle with wanting more is when it relates to my business, like buying, e-courses and software and stuff like that. That's where I struggle with tempering my urges for more, because, I want to have a great business, and I want people to be attracted to what I'm offering. So I'm always looking for ways to improve my skills, improve, my site. So that's one area where I definitely struggle with wanting more and tempering my desire. But when it comes to those purchases for my business, like I said, I ask myself those questions. I ask myself, do I need it right now? Is it going to make a difference right now? Is it going to move me closer to whatever goals that I have for my business? That's what I ask myself. And I also ask myself, can I really afford it? And if I can't, then I just put it on a wish list, or and you start saving so that you can eventually purchase it. Question number 5 is, how do you deal with the non-minimalists in your life? I like to mind my business. So I kind of let people do what they do, because I realize that we're all on our own journeys. And just because I'm on a minimalist journey and I'm really passionate about this journey doesn't mean that the other people in my life have to be. It's their journey. Maybe one day they'll come to a point where they feel like they don't need, all the stuff that they have, but that's not for me to decide. So, I don't really have to deal with them, because what they do with their lives is none of my business. All I can do, that's not to say that I don't, encourage them when I see areas that they might be able to declutter. And the biggest thing that I do, in my life to encourage others to embrace minimalism is to just be the example myself. I live this life. So hopefully someone will see me and ask me, maybe, how do you do that? And then I can offer some tips and resources. Lead by example is my motto when it comes to really anything. Here's the last question, number 6. Do you have any guilty pleasures where minimalism doesn't apply? I don't know. Maybe food. Sometimes I get certain urges to just buy stuff that I know is not bad for me, or eat stuff that I know is not bad for me. I mean, eat stuff that I know is bad. Or not bad, but, sweets and snacks and stuff like that. Sometimes you just want it. So I don't deny myself when I have those urges. Wine. I've never limited myself in my buying or drinking of wine, and I don't ever plan to. But overall, I don't think there's any area of my life where minimalism doesn't apply. Even when I do have urges to splurge on certain things, it's usually after long periods of not buying those things or having those things. So I don't think it's anything wrong with, treating yourself to something every now and then. So yeah, those were my answers to the minimalism tag. And I'm going to tag a few people that I follow on YouTube who also talk about minimalism. So I am tagging the Happy Black Woman, Rosetta Thurman, Ambrosia Marbrow, hope I pronounced your name correctly, Darlin Dan, and Baina Hughley. They all have great channels and they all talk about minimalism in one form or another. So I tag them and I tag you. Have a great day. Peace.